Well, thank you, friends. We have become friends over this long period where I have been reading stories from this book, collected short stories by Ruskin Bond, and almost every little story in this I have read. And particularly towards the end, there were little bits, short stories, and some of them were very good. Some of the earlier stories were a little bit more tragic or scary, with ghosts and girls jumping off the bridge into the river, all that. By and large, these stories gave us a picture, or at least vignettes, of life as they were about 150, 200 years ago in North India, in the lower hills, foothills of the Himalayas, like Mussoorie and Nainital and Shimla and etc., where the Englishmen who were ruling India at that time sent, they had occupied all the nice places, and their young boys would come from England, be given jobs here or whatever, and they would be in India, well taken care of by the establishment, by the government, and etc. And they would have their place and their relatives, their uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, etc., in the army and in the church and in various government posts, the post office, the civil work, everything. So it was their government, and they had taken over our country. It was their government and their people, and they enjoyed everything here. And our own people were the poor brown natives who had to slog and do all the menial work for them. And the life they used to live, and etc., little bits, vignettes of it have been uh, brought out in these stories. And being in the foothills, very cold winters, and high inclines of mountain slopes or hill slopes, everywhere there was climbing high slopes, and there was also um, quite a lot of empty spaces, barrenness, rivers, brooks, bridges, providing a lot of masala for the stories. If you remember the story of Madhumati, the Hindi movie, it was also in the hills, in the mountains, where there was a plantation, and the plantation owner, he has a big bungalow, and it's all open areas. The plants, the trees, are all over the place. It's all just hills and mountainsides, slopes, with trees and plants, and only his house and his servants, and his maybe animals, some, and perfect setting for desolate, dark scenes in the night, in the winter, and of girl and boy, young man, owner, the owner's son, and etc. So tragic tale of Madhumati, which was embellished, made great by those beautiful songs and music. This reminded me of those places, the hills, the mountains, the trees, the rivers and streams, and etc. Well, the Englishman lived this life for about 200 years in those. Odilia. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. So they they used to enjoy and live in this beautiful surroundings for about 200 years. until they were more or less forced to vacate and leave India in 1947. So this book relates to the period prior to that, when they were very much lording it over India and occupying all desirable spots in the subcontinent, whether in the north, in the hills, mountains, or in the south. And Ruskin Bond has repainted, I would say he has painted and brought to life the life of that time, era, the life lived by those people. Though he has written it from the point of view of an ordinary clerk or a teacher or something, and not one of those high ranking and decorated soldiers who earned the huge monies. So it gives us a very good perspective and image of how the ordinary man lived, because many of these stories are intimately linked, interlaced with the lives of the ordinary, hardworking, poor people. And I like this whole thing, except those which were a bit scary or which involved girls jumping off bridge and all that, or haunted house. There were several of those hauntings, but those I did not like. Otherwise, there are some nice things. So it has been a pleasure reading these stories, and I hope you have enjoyed it. I'll pick up another book later, and then we'll have another season of reading. And I think I'll take the book of R.K. Lakshman or R.K. Narayan. They are very good storytellers, and I'll find the book and I'll start reading it next week. Thank you. Nice knowing you. Bye bye.